While I slick my hair into a ponytail, let's talk about a topic that we all struggle with, which is waiting on God without missing His voice. Hi there, welcome back, and if you are new, welcome to my YouTube channel, Vidal Lighthouse. My name is actually Vidal Footing, and this channel is all about having real conversations about becoming, faith, self-development, and just your journey with God, because it is actually not easy. It is not easy for anybody. Okay, so today we'll be talking about what you can do while waiting on God and why most people miss God's voice. Yeah. So before to get into that, I actually want to be a bit vulnerable, right? Is that okay? So since last year, right, I have been trusting God for something, well, for several things. Yes, for several things. And now we're in 2026. It hasn't been easy, honestly. It hasn't been easy. Sometimes you ask yourself, God, did I hear you right? Or did you even hear my prayers? Or how long is this going to take? It gets frustrating, honestly, it does. But this is where I feel like our faith has been tested, right? Our faith has been tested. But sadly, it happened that this morning I woke up feeling really down emotionally, spiritually, physically, like everything was just not okay. And normally I have my routine that I do right in the mornings, where I will pray, read my Bible and journal, and then later exercise. But I honestly didn't feel like doing any of those today. So I had remembered a lady called Haley Melinda, who said that like there will be days where you won't feel like praying, right? And instead of not praying, right, sit, instead of just like continuing with your day, you can just sit and play worship songs, right? So that's what I did. I normally like listening to All That Matters by Moses Bliss, I think. Yes, he is. My hair is looking funny. He is the songwriter or the artist? Yes. So I normally like listening to him. So I did that, and once I was done, I think I'd listened to 2 worship songs. Once I was done, I ended up crying. I found myself crying. Yeah, it can be a lot. I found myself crying, but I did have like energy, a bit of, if you can, do we call it energy or what? But anyways, to pray, like motivation. Yes, that's the word, motivation to pray. So I ended up praying, and I pushed myself also to exercise. It wasn't easy, but yes, having to do the hard things even when you don't feel like it. Yes, that's what I ended up doing. So I'm not telling you this to make you like pity me or feel bad for me, right? But it's just to let you know that you are not the only one going through this type of season. You're not the only one who feels drained. You're not the only one who's questioning God. Oh my goodness, my hair. You're not the only one who's questioning God, or that's crying, or that wakes up in the morning and feels like, oh my word, what is going on? Here's something God has been teaching me. So actually, for the past 2 weeks, right, I actually had an idea when I was on YouTube channel. I had already planned like my 3 first videos, right? And then I was like, okay, I wanted to plan at least 10, but then I didn't have any ideas. So I was like, okay, instead of having to go for 10, let's do at least 4. So I kept praying to God to like help me with the 4th video. I recorded my first video, I recorded my second video, And then now going to my third video, I recorded it and it's still like, oh my goodness, like, okay God, when are you going to tell me? Because I like to prepare, right? I like to prepare and make sure that yes, I've got my things on check. But anyways, I didn't get any answer. And while I was busy editing my third video, I prayed again concerning that. I didn't get any answer. But funny enough, once I finished editing, that's when God placed an idea in my head concerning this video, and I'm just like, wow. I'm just like, wow, okay. So this is just to say that at times God wants you to finish, right, with what you are doing, or would finish with what you're doing, or finish with what he had told you to do, right? Or get rid of certain distractions before he's able to answer you and let you know of the upcoming of what he wants you to do. I just got distracted there a bit. Yeah, so sometimes he wants you to get rid of what is distracting you, or finish with the previous assignment he had given you to do before to tell you the next step. Sometimes we want the whole picture, right? But God actually wants to guide you step by step by step. Ecclesiastes chapter 3 verse 1 says, there is a time for everything and a season for every activity under the sun. So this basically states again, sometimes the next instruction will be given to you after you are done with what he has already told you to do. Those of you who know, I am actually an author. So I started writing at the age, well, I created a self-development journal and wrote a children's storybook at the age of 17, right? And once I did that, it was actually like, I tell a lot of people that me being an author is not due to the fact that I'm smart or intelligent, right? I actually struggled in school. So yeah, I always believe that it is through my obedience to God, right? It's something that he wanted me to create. And I was told that I was going to get paid to speak. Like due to my obedience, I will get paid, English, I will get paid to speak and win awards and be in front of diplomatic people. So for me, I thought that, okay, maybe that's going to be years later, right? Maybe in my 30s or something like that. But actually, I was then told that it will actually happen at a young age. So that was like, okay, at a young age. So I was expecting it to happen. So since I was 17, so I kind of calculated it in my head. I was like, young age probably is going to happen in the next year, right? But it actually took 3 years to happen. It actually took 3 years. 3 years of consistency, 3 years of putting myself out there, 3 years of making financial mistakes, 3 years of a lot, right? But I just had to be consistent and to be obedient with God, right? 3 years of going out there looking for events. Actually, one day I had a friend, like before I started selling, I had a friend from high school. I'm about to put this. So I had a friend from high school who was going to sell like bracelets. So she created bracelets. She was going to sell bracelets at a event. And I asked her if we could share a table. Ooh, this is coming out nice. So I asked her if we could share a table. And she asked like the manager of the, was it the sport? Yeah, it was a sports event at a gym. She asked the manager if we could do so, and he said yes. And she sent me his number. I like how it's coming out. So she sent me his number and we spoke, and he accepted. And from there, I had invited one of my friends, Abed. Shout out to you, Abed. So I invited him to come because he had started his YouTube channel and he was going into photography. So I was like, hey, come shoot like content at this event, and also, you know, take me a couple of cute pictures with my books and all of that so I can document it. So he accepted, and actually today he is a professional photographer. I will put his what is it, business name. You can check him on Instagram. I'll just put it like Abia for you to see. Go patronize him, whether in Pretoria. So this is for people in South Africa. Yeah, whether you're in Pretoria or Johannesburg, just let him know, and he will make magic and make you look pretty. Make your pictures look pretty and aesthetic. Yeah. So anyways, I called him, and ever since then, that's how I started looking for events to go to, and I was consistent about it, right? Honestly, there were times where I didn't have any places to go, but during that moment, I just had to continue praying, reading the word, meditating, working on my whole self-development, right? And then 3 years later, I think I was 20, it was September 2023. So 2023, I met the Deputy High Commissioner of Cameroon in South Africa, and this was at a heritage event, and he asked me to attend the 20th of May, not the 20th of May, the Cameroon's National Day on the 20th of May, the following year, yes, to be introduced to the High Commission of Cameroon in South Africa. And the following year I assisted, and I was in front of different diplomatic people. I met the High Commissioner of Russia, there was Russia. I need to go back to Instagram and check, but then I've got all of that on my Instagram page. So yes, I met a lot of diplomatic people, and honestly, it was an honor. It was an honor to be amongst all these people. And then the following year, the secretary of the High Commissioner in Cameroon's High Commissioner in South Africa, like his secretary, called me, I think it was 5 days before the 20th of May, and said that I needed to present a poem in front of diplomatic people on the 20th of May. And that was scary, but at the same time, it was a dream come true, because before having to create my self-development journal and all, right, I was so consistent in like listening to motivational speakers, my journey with God and all of that. So I always envisioned myself in front of 50 million people and presenting with so much confidence. Where I was gonna get that confidence from, it's only God that knows. But anyways, so yeah, it was a dream come true. And not only did I present a poem, I actually got paid for it. So it was my very first speaking event, right? So imagine, from 17, and then I met the High Commissioner at age of 21, and then I was called to speak the following year, literally a year afterwards. So you can just imagine the work of God, right? When God makes promises, He can answer you in 3 years, He can answer you in a week, He can answer you the following day, He can even answer you that same moment, right? It is just for you to pay attention, be obedient. So what you should do while waiting on God is staying obedient. So basically, doing the last thing He told you to do. Remove distractions. Sometimes God is actually speaking, but we are too busy scrolling. Stay consistent, because consistency prepares you for the promise. And when I say stay consistent in worshiping God, stay consistent in praying, stay consistent in reading your Bible, and stay consistent also in doing what He has told you to do before. Yeah. And on days where you don't feel like praying, do remember to worship, because worshiping keeps your heart soft. And lastly, don't forget to write things down. So this is basically journaling. Here's the truth. Many people tend to say, God has not answered me yet. But the truth is that God actually did. But you are expecting Him to answer you a specific way, right? Or you miss more instructions. Or you are expecting the bigger picture instead of the next step. God actually speaks in different ways, and some of them are through scriptures, timing, people, peace, convictions, ideas, and not just an audible voice. Let's just get this tied up, and we have to wait for a couple of minutes. I think about 20 minutes, and it will be looking slick, but yes. So maybe you are not waiting, you are actually being prepared. Maybe God already spoke, but the answer is hidden in obedience. If this video spoke to you, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Feel free to comment down below what you are waiting on God for. Thank you for spending time with me. You were not forgotten, you were not late, and God is still faithful.